Good morning. I was presenting the work that the ISA, Instituto Superior de Agronomia, was done in SUDOE program IMIP. The ISA are responsible for work package 1, the integral design of the construction system and value chain. And this presentation is made by me, Jorge Gominho, and my colleagues Isabel Miranda and Solange Araújo. In this SUDOE program, the ISA in work package 1 are responsible for the production of 3 deliverables. One, the first, is a preliminary study of biomaterials availability. The second, the preliminary study on traceability certification. And the third, the preliminary study on the current use and cork use in southwest of Europe. And the report of sustainability analysis and the good practice guide of technology quality and evolution of raw material is done by a team. The first, the preliminary study on renewable and autochthonous biomaterials. The aim of this report is to identify and provide information of availability of wood of autochthonous and pine species, Pinus pinnata, Pinus alipensis, Pinus nigris, and cork in SUDOE space. It includes information on the potential supply of resources, information on actual potential uses, and a comparative analysis between countries. This SUDOE space comprises the entire territory of Spain, Portugal, and southeastern region of France. These 3 countries contain 39 million hectares of forest lands, and as you can see, it's around 30% of the area, the forest area in these 3 countries. The main species are different between Portugal, France, and Spain. In France, the first species are the Quercus petrea and Quercus robur, followed the Pinus alipensis and the Fagus sylvatica. In Portugal, the eucalyptus is the first, second, the Quercus suber, and in the third position, the Pinus pinnata. And in Spain is Quercus ilex, the first, then the Pinus alipensis and Pinus pinnata and Pinus sylvestris in third position. Maritime pine or Pinus pinnata is spread naturally in Atlantic influence region in Portugal, Spain, and France. They have different subspecies. Atlantica in Atlantic coast and subspecies Mesacogeni in Mediterranean basin in France and Spain. And as you can see, in terms of the area, the Spain are the first, then France and Portugal in the third position. The Pinus alipensis, the Aleppo pine, is native of the tree, wild distributed in the SUDOE region. It is dominant mainly in Mediterranean and climate forests. In Spain, in western part of Mediterranean basin, and in France, in the Provence Alps and Côte d'Azur. In Portugal, we don't have Pinus alipensis. Pinus nigra, the black pine, is natural forest of black pine in Iberian Peninsula are restricted to Spain. In France, the black pine is found in a few isolated populations in the Pyrenees and in Cevennes regions. The cork oak, The evergreen cork oak grows in the Western Mediterranean basin, occurring spontaneously in Portugal and Spain, and in restricted areas of France. In Portugal, cork oak forests cover extensive area in the Alentejo region in southern of country. In Spain, the cork woodlands cover extensive areas in the autonomous region of Andalusia, Extremadura, and Catalonia. The Portugal are the principal in area and in cork production. Then Spain follow with residual amounts in France. The use of the cork oak bark have different uses. If you look from the virgin cork, the first bark extract from the cork suber, we can use the strip from this tree, can be used in decorative sheets for cork boards, or removed from pruned branches and is in raw material for pure break agglomerates of cork. The reproduction cork, it can be used if are sick enough for the cork. You can use as for natural stoppers and natural cork products. And if not sick enough for the cork stoppers, it can produce cork discs and other natural cork products. In the bark of the cork oak, it's all used, and the cork waste are granulated and used in composite agglomerates corks, and this composite can be used in cork wall panels, flooring parquets, agglomerate technical and cork stoppers, for champagne cork stoppers, and in special composites. The sawmill industry in Southwest Spain, Spain are present around 10,000 sawmills, provided approximately 61,000 of jobs. Portugal is a small country with fewer sawmills, only 248 sawmills, and produce about 90% of the lumbers. Exists a lot of small sawmills and installation that produce, but not in a permanent basis. Its employer around 5,000 employees. France in Nouvelle-Aquitaine at the end of 2012 is to 28,000 establishment and employ 66,000 of people. These sawmills are produced essentially for the pellet industries. The wooden pellets dominate the markets with 90 and 95% of market share, and the annual industrial production are estimating 80 weight and 49 million of wood pellets. Concerning the cork industry, the industry are local in Portugal. The geographical localization of cork industry is mainly concentrated in the Peninsula Iberian, and as you can see, the production activity can be divided into preparation, the manufacture for the production of stoppers, and the granulation and the agglomeration for the other products. As you can see here, we have natural cork stoppers, champagne and sparkling wine cork. We have agglomerate stoppers here, and natural discs in the bottom. Black agglomerate from virgin cork, and white agglomerate for floor. The second report is the objective is identify the traceability is beneficial for both companies and consumers and provide the better quality for wood and products. The aim of this review is to study the emerging traceability technology used in the trade sector and present the current and trends in the future perspectives. The forest certification is necessary, and existed two brands of this certification: the FFC, the Forest Stewards Council, and PAFC, the Program for Endorsement of Forest Certification. This certification is necessary as a market mechanism to promote the sustainability use and management of forests and identify the sustainability produces and products from the consumer. These labels can be on the forest producing and informs the potential buyers that the produce was produced in a well-managed forest in accordance with the given set of standards. This certification is fundamental. Characteristics of traceability system are: first, the identification of units and batch of all inputs. You can call the product traceability information. You can also the identification of the processed product, the production records and batch labeling. You can information of when and where they are moved and transformed, the documentation, and a system is linked to this data. Also, this means reconciles products to the documentation. The first is this label is the FSC, the Forest Stewards Council. Is an independent, not-for-profit organization established in 1993 to promote responsible forest management. The FSC mission statement is to promote the environmentally appropriate, socially beneficial, and economical viability management of world forests through the standards and development and certification. These three pillars of the sustainability are present in the three chambers: environmental, social, and economical. It is an international certification and labeling system that guarantees that the paper and wood products carrying the FC label come from environmentally and socially responsible source. Exist two types of certification in this label. First is the forest management. This certification involves an inspection of forest management unit by an independent FFC certification. Its forest complies with FSC standard. It's used and certificated. FC standards are based on 10 principles for responsibility forest management, which apply all FC certificate forests in the world. The second is chain of custody. This certification involves the tracking of FSC certified fiber from the forest to the consumer and includes all successive stages and processing and transformation, manufacturing, and distribution. The FC label guarantees that the produce can be traced from the back and to a approved source. As you can see, go to the forest manager certification, to the chain of custody certification, and finally we can get the product labeling. And as you can see, this is distribution of FSC in the world, and North America and Europe are the principal countries use these labels. The other label is PFC. PFC, in 1990, the small and family forest owners from Europe came together to create a forest certification system that will be enabled to demonstrate their excellence in sustainability for forest management. PFC is a labeling global alliance from National Forest Certification System. As an international non-profit and non-governmental organization, we are dedicated to promoting sustainability forest management through the independent and third-party certification. How this works, the PFC? The PAFC works as an umbrella organization endorsing national forest certification systems, especially tailored for small non-industrial forests and family-owned forests. Using a voting approach, the PFC endorses existing national standards to always keep a local approach adapted to the geographical situation of the forest. This local action is nevertheless coupled with an alignment with the PFC International Sustainability Benchmark, including biodiversity protection, GMO and chemical prohibition, and workers with the rights protections. The PFC chain of custody certification certify that the wood used as a raw material in the final products come from PFC forest areas. The tracking used through the supply chain ensure that the origin and quality of the wood. The certification is carried out by accredited certifications bodies meeting the requirements to define ISO standards, such the 91 and the 4001 ISO. There are two mechanisms to tracing the origin and forest products in forest-based products in these labels. A percentage-based methods, for a mix of certified and non-certified raw material. The percentage of certified raw material must be known and communicated to the customers, and physical separation methods requires a clear separation between certified and non-certified raw materials during the production and trading process. This chain of custody certifications provide them information to users about the origin of the woods using their products and give the retailers and traders a positive image and increasing the customer base on opening and new markets. And this is the graphical that represents the distribution of PSC members and the endorsement system in the world. The main difference between these two labels is with they carry out the certification process. The FSC is a top-down approach to the market where the spreads policy is determined for each individual country. One FCS establish the standard for this policy. They examine each individual forest in the country in question to determine whether it meets the criteria. The PFC depends primarily on the underlying inspection companies. Forests can be considered PFC's certificate by examining local inspection and assessing whether this local inspection meet the PFC requirements. The PFC works together with SFI, Sustainable Forest Initiative, and SCA, Svenska Cellulose, or Swedish Cellulose companies. In the literature, this is called a bottom-up certification. Spain has principle to 2.3 million of hectares of certified forests. The first label is PEFC certified. Portugal is the FCS certified is the first label. And in France, we have the PEFC certified as the main label. Concerning the cork forest certified, in Portugal, Spain, and Italy, around 150,000 hectares are certified by FCSA and PEFC system. The FSC certification for cocoa forest management is currently adopted in Portugal and Spain, and PEFC certification currently apply in work forest in Portugal and Spain. As you can see, it's applied these two labels in cork forest. The third and the last report that was done is the analysis of current use of wood and cork in SUDOE space. The objective of this report is to look in the forest space sector value chains, produce a wide range of production, range from wood construction products, packing, furniture, paper and pulp products, energy and articles, to bioplastic, biocomposites and carbon fibers, textile fibers and biochemicals. The aim of this task is intended to analyze the different current uses of woods in Pinus spinaca, Pilus pensis, Pinus niger, and cork subers in SUDOE region, especially in France and Spain. The wood-based industry, according to the Eurostat, the wood-based industries of these three SUDOE clusters are composed by enterprise 85,000 enterprise, including printing industries, furniture manufacturing industries, woodworking industries, and manufactured paper and paper products industries. They represent 90% of all manufacturing enterprise in the three countries, and most of them are located in France and in Spain. Regarding the cork-based industry, are mainly located in Portugal and Spain, and represents 34% and 27% of the world oak forest area. France is residual, it represents an additional 3% of this cork. Cork production leaders, cork in Portugal, Portugal is a cork production leaders around the world, and with near of 50% and 30.5% of total cork production. Soundwood production. This industry present the total output of soundwood across the European is approximately 100 million cubic meters per year, and it's located principally in Germany and Sweden. Looking for the products that you can produce, the plywood are in this France, Portugal, Spain. As you can see, in Portugal it's residual, and the principal production are in Spain. The veneer sheets, France are last year the first producer, then Spain, and the third are Portugal. The particle board, the France are the first, followed by the Spain and Portugal. The oriented standard board only France produce, and the MDF are is made essentially in Spain and France. Concerning the core products, as you can see, Portugal is the principal product export is natural cork stoppers, and France are the principal import cork stoppers, and in Spain they are principally import cork stoppers. And as you can see from Eurostat, the Portugal are the first in quantity and in value produce in these three countries, in agglomerate cork, cork stopper, natural cork, and waste cork. And the fourth report, it's done by NIA, and they create a report when they are studied the criteria indicators for the evaluation of IMIP and construction system values chain. And the last one are made by iTeam, is a good practice guide for technical and quality evaluation for raw material. Thank you.